Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Bonding with the Beausejours.
Hey, what's going on, family? My name is Daniel. This is my wife, Lonnie. We are the Beausejours, and we have another episode today. Truly excited to dive into it. But before we dive into it, if this is your first time joining our channel, please don't forget to like, subscribe, and share.
Yeah, absolutely. And also, I know we said that we were gonna start off our episodes with before we dive into the theme of the day, like we were gonna kick it off with a would you rather question. So this episode is it's kind of like you guys get to see personality, right? You guys get to see like the not just the serious conversations that we have, but just like regular, just chatting conversations that we have. And since the episode today is a bit on the fun side, excuse me, on the fun side, I figure that I was contemplating between two would you rather questions, but I feel like I'm gonna just go ahead and lean with the more serious one since the episode itself is like already not like extremely serious. Not that it's
Okay.
not serious, but you get
Okay.
what I'm saying. So,
All right, hit me.
so the would you rather question is would you rather have 1 minute to speak to your past self or your future self?
Mm. That's kind of, for me, I feel like a lot of people would spend a lot of time on this question or spend a lot of time trying to figure out what the correct answer is. But for me, I'll just go ahead and say I would love to have a minute conversation with my future self.
Okay.
Because of it's just interesting. It would just be interesting to see, okay, what's in the future? Like what's to behold of me and my family, those around me. What's to like if I could spend a minute with my future self to tell me, okay, this is the direction you're headed towards.
Mm,
I would just love that opportunity. I would
yeah.
love that opportunity and I would take that over and over again. If I'm gonna be transparent, I feel like there are times where not to say I have conversations with my past self, but sometimes I dwell in the past in my mind,
Mm,
and so it's kind of like, man, I should have done this. I
yeah,
should have
yeah,
done it like that. I already, there's times like I kind of beat myself up
yeah.
concerning the past, and so to look at things like in a positive sense, or like to be able to have the conversation with your future self for like
Mm-hmm.
just a minute, um that could, to be honest, impact your present,
Yeah.
and like have
Wow.
you
That's
in a
true.
certain mindset of, okay, this is where I need to go.
Yeah.
If this is what my future self is, okay, I need to, whatever I need to brush up now, I'll brush up now.
That's deep.
So
Because
I'd
honestly,
rather.
even when that's deep, that's a good perspective. Because when I thought about the question, like I didn't think about it from that perspective. Like if you could have a 1 minute conversation with your future self, seeing who you become in the future, that in itself could give you like encouragement in the
Yeah.
now to keep
Yeah.
going. Cause it's like, look
Absolutely.
what you've become.
Right.
Look out how things panned out. And
Right.
you right, that is encouraging because it's like just imagine the state that you're currently in, or the state, not just you but just generally speaking, just imagine like the state you're currently in, and then you see yourself in the future, you see yourself 3 years 5 years down the line, and it's like, oh wow,
Yeah.
like look at how this turned out, or
Right.
look at how far I've made it, look at how I overcame this, look at how
Yeah.
this thing is not an issue anymore, or look at
Absolutely.
how like I kept going, or
Yeah.
look at the perseverance and the resilience. So
Yeah.
I feel like that's a good perspective.
Absolutely. That was a
Yeah.
good one. That was a good one. I have one for you though,
Do you?
because you thought that it was just
I
a
thought it
question
was
for
just
me.
gonna be
No, 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 no. I
whatever.
have one for you. That's a tough one.
Okay.
That's a tough one for you. So I hope you're ready for this. All right. So
Go for it.
I wanna present the scene. We're headed towards a major event.
Mm,
Matter of fact, we're at the doors.
okay.
All right. You don't have a jacket on. You don't have a blazer on.
Okay.
All right. I don't have a jacket on. I don't have a blazer on. Let's say I just have a turtleneck on.
Okay.
All right. You have like a light kind of like a light colored dress on.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Now there's a huge, huge, let's say it's a makeup stain, like at the center of your dress.
Okay, this is very descriptive and
You
detailed,
also
painting the picture.
you also have 3 broken nails
Oh my gosh.
at this major event.
Okay.
Which would you rather? Would you rather walk in there with the makeup stain right at the center of your dress, or would you have those 3 broken nails?
3 broken nails. I could hide my hands. I don't have to be handsy. I don't have to do a whole bunch of things with my hands. Like I could
Okay.
hide that. But the dress, if I have nothing to cover it, if you have nothing to give me, if I don't have anything, then I'm just walking in there strutting with a full set of nails on, but a big stain in the center of my dress. Like, what's that? Like,
So let's say the
not
broken nails.
a
Wait,
follow up question. Like,
wait.
come on.
Let's say the broken nails aren't all in one hand though. Let's say you have 2 on one hand and 1 on the other. And we know your favorite pose. You know, like the hand on the thigh, and and you just you smiling, you posing at the camera, and we have to take those pictures. So does that change anything?
I'm gonna just do something else. I'm gonna have to like tuck my fingers in. I'm gonna have to pose differently.
Tuck your fingers in. What pose is that? You raising a fist?
I'm gonna make it work.
You're gonna make it
Point
work.
blank period. I'm
Okay.
gonna make it work.
Okay. So you'd rather the 3 broken nails.
I would rather the broken nose,
Okay.
especially if it's not all on the same hand. Whatever,
Okay.
make it work.
All right. That was fun.
It was fun.
That was fun. All right. So again, guys, we have a fun topic today. I'm trying to see how we could
So
start this because
yeah,
this was brought up during last season, I believe. For those of you who know me, listen, I'm a basketball fanatic. I love basketball. I live, breathe, sleep, eat basketball. To be
so
honest with you,
dramatic.
it's been kind of different this season. I don't know why, but things are kind of slow with the NBA. And I mentioned this before, but for some reason the NFL is grabbing my attention, man. I don't know what it is, but I'm really starting to
It's the
really
house you
enjoy
wonder.
football. I'm really starting to enjoy football, and I see it as a positive thing because while I'm waiting for the NBA season to start, I have the NFL to back on. And, when the playoffs start for the NFL, that's when it really gets exciting. So I don't know, man. I'm not saying I'm fully over on the NFL side, but I'm just saying, like, I went from tolerating it to liking it to now I'm kind of like it a lot. So,
Why is it always one or the other with folks? Like, why can't people just like
man,
basketball and football? Like, why is it okay? I'm a basketball person.
that's
I'm a football
fine.
person.
Wait, that's fine. But it's just like, okay, what's your preference? Like, what's like, when you say ball is life, what is that? Football is life or basketball is life? So
Okay.
it's like when I say ball is life, it's basketball. Um, so I don't know, man. But the conversation is regarding basketball. It's regarding the NBA. And something interesting happened that
Yeah.
really sparked this conversation. Um, there's a particular team playing against another team. I'm not gonna name names or name teams, but a certain player was, just smiling on the court. And the way I am, I'm passionate about basketball. Basketball is a competitive sport, and so I just remember yelling at the screen, and I'm like, "Yo, man, you're not supposed to be smiling on the court, man. This is like you trying to win the game. This is a competitive sport. You can't be smiling, being all like all willy nilly and just like just
Yeah,
smiling and everything of that nature." So I'm just like, what's up with this guy? Like, why is he? But you had a different perspective.
for
You had a
sure.
different perspective, and you thought it was okay for this person to smile. And I'm like, why? Like, I want to kick things off with that. Like, so what is it that makes you think it's okay to be smiling on the court when it's like a competitive sport, when you're trying to get the win, you're trying to get the dub, and you think it's okay to be all smiley with your opponent, and like what's good with that?
So y'all hear how passionate Daniel is about basketball, right? Like for him, he take it as it's not a joke, it's not a game, like it's serious business.
It's serious business.
It's serious business, rightfully so. Respectfully, I understand your perspective, but from my perspective, I feel like for some people, they're doing the thing that they love, and even if they're skilled at it, even if they're nice, they're doing what they love. So for some people, they're not about to be angry on the court. They're not about to be like, all serious and just like no, let me maybe I shouldn't say serious. They're not about to be like, not every person has that, I don't know, I guess as some would say it, like that dog, right? That's what you call
The
it, like the
dog
dog
mentality.
mentality,
Uh-huh.
where it's like, this is not a game. Like I'm super competitive, so I'm not playing with none of y'all. Like for some people, this is the thing that they love to do. So if they shoot in buckets, if they scoring, if they're making points, if their skills is, doing like their skills is working for the team, what's wrong with them smiling while doing it? Like, what's wrong with them smiling while playing the sport? Like, when you're doing what you love, it don't like sometimes when you're doing what you love, it feels like joy. It feels like passion. So I feel like that's where the smile comes from.
I'm glad you said passion because that's really what it is. What you call anger, can it just be like passion and zeal, like for the sport, like zeal for the competition? So in that sense, why would I be smiling with my opponent if I'm trying to, beat my opponent? And like, why would I want to be all giddy and all like,
That giddy.
with my opponent, but it's just like I'm trying to win. It's a win mentality. It's a dog mentality. Like you could go ahead and I'm not trying to be so extra, but you could go ahead and like defeat your opponent and still show sportsmanship after. But in the middle of the court, like when the game is on the line,
Mm-hmm.
I'm not expecting to be all smiley and all like all giddy
Talk your talk,
with
babe.
my opponent. It's it's a
Uh
it's a, it's a killer mentality. It's a dog mentality. I don't mean to shoot the gun,
huh.
the gun,
Talk your
but it's
talk.
a killer instinct. It's like that a certain mindset that you gotta have.
Uh
Um, and it could. I know we're talking about basketball, but that's just like the sport in general. Like you're trying to win.
Mm-hmm.
It's about getting the victory. It's about getting the dub. So it's
Mm-hmm.
like at that moment, I feel like if you're like all like relaxed and smiling and all that, you could be throwing yourself off your own game.
Mm-hmm.
Like you could be rather than be poised and I'd rather be focused and poised. If that requires me not to put a smile on my face, I'm not putting a smile on my face. Listen,
Mm.
like you my bro, I love you, but yo, I gotta get this. I gotta get this dub. I gotta
Mm-hmm.
get this win. So I think that's just the mentality that we should, in terms of the sport,
Mm-hmm.
that should always be had. You know what I'm saying? You could show. There's moments like obviously there's like I say like a broken play, and it's just like say somebody's going to the foul line, and it's like yo, you fouled me pretty hard there, man, like whatever, and it's just like little like trash talk, and
Mm-hmm.
I understand that, but when it comes to like the game, like for itself, listen, man, there's no should be no smiling, no ha ha
Mm-hmm.
kikiing, none of that, man. It's like, listen, I'm trying to get this dub. I'm trying to get this win. I don't know if you
I lost my train of thought because you was going so hard. It was attractive.
See, this is what I'm talking about, man. This is what I'm talking about. Like you
It
see,
was
the
attractive. You
passion I
made me
was
lose
speaking
my
with,
train of thought.
the passion I was speaking with, and now
You
like
made me
you take
lose my
it.
train of thought.
See, this is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm talking
But it
about.
got a smile out of you though, right?
This is
No,
what I'm
but
talking
on a
about.
serious note, I did remember what I was going to say. So, would you say because zeal is reflected differently for people,
Mm-hmm.
right? Like for some people, like you, right? Like you. may not reflect your zeal in a manner where you're smiling, unless it's for me. You may not reflect your zeal in a manner where you're like, oh, smiling and giddy, like you just mentioned. But for some person, for another person, that's how they may reflect their zeal. What's wrong with that? Like for
It
some
just
people, it's fun.
for some
They're
people.
skilled at it, but it's fun. Like it's like, yo, I am doing what I got to do, right? I'm putting the team on my back. I am scoring. I am good, whether it's defense wise or
It's
offense, like,
okay.
so if you're good at the game and you have fun while doing it, right? Some people don't see it as like, oh, have that killer mentality where they see their opponent
I'm
as like, oh yeah,
okay.
like I gotta have that killer mentality. As far as the game, we gotta keep
Yeah.
specifying that because we save. But some people don't see it like, oh yeah, I gotta have that mentality. Some people see it as like, yo, this is fun, like, and I'm doing what I love for fun.
So I respond to that by saying, okay, there's a different. So when we talk about smiling, there's like having that smile, like that sadistic smile, like yeah, I'm killing this dude. Like that's a different type of. But I'm talking about the smile I'm talking about is like
The
I,
giddy smile.
again, I don't want to mention names. I don't want to mention teams, so I could just like make sure we're fair here. But that kind of smile you're talking about, I don't believe in that because again, it's a matter
Why?
of like you just I feel like that's just you being lax. You not really not you're not taking it serious to me because
But what if they getting
it's
wins? What if they're
what
scoring? What if they're good defensively? What if they're good? Like, what if it's all of those things still happening, but they got a smile on their face? What's wrong with that?
but that's like I don't I want to say like I really don't see okay if it's like like because again basketball is a team sport so now the team is winning all of that's good but what does that say about you in terms of if you had that kind of mindset just imagine where you could bring the team to
So
just
you feel like
imagine where you could
everybody
be
have to have
I
the
just
dog
feel like
mentality in order to win.
absolutely when it comes
Okay.
to a sport when it comes to like competition yeah like so that like the best version of you comes out
Okay.
that version of you where like in the ups and the downs and we're talking about the court like but if you have that mindset like what I'm saying not to take things easy not to take things light but you go hard like every possession every play and it's just like yo I'm not playing that brings like the intensity of the sport the intensity of the competition to a whole nother level and not only that but again I'm just pointing to the individual because again like imagine if you take things up a notch
Mm.
imagine if you take like your mindset goes up to another level where it's just like yo I'm not stopping at nothing like I want to get this win I want to get this dub
Mm-hmm.
that just there's like a positive effect that happens to your teammates too like
Okay.
if especially if you're the leader of that team
Yeah. Yeah.
they all carry that same mentality too you know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying like you
So
not
it's like
playing
they're gonna
around they
perform.
all not exactly
So they're gonna perform to the
exactly
best of their ability too.
exactly so I think like just having that lax cool calm like what I'm saying that's cool and all but like I don't know I'm gonna mention a name and the name is Michael Jordan and I just remember like my number
I
one
thought you was about to say Kobe.
first thing another example those aren't my favorite players but
You have a favorite player?
you know you know who my favorite player is you know who my favorite player is
Is this still the same person?
who's my favorite
Oh,
player
Carmelo
there you
Anthony.
go there you go Carmelo's my favorite player all time he's my goat but when you think about Kobe when you think about Michael Jordan when you think about the mindset that they had like it's like nobody was messing with them
Hmm.
nobody was messing with them because of like the mindset that they had like it wasn't just they scored it wasn't just that they shot the ball well it wasn't that they played defense well it was the mindset man like it's the mindset brought everything together like you could that's why for me it's like you could have the talent you could have the skill But if you don't have the mindset to like, because that's why again, like the whole like being smiley, being giddy, it speaks to you as a person, like like you're a good person. That's good and well, but we're talking about like on the court, where we're talking about like getting this dub, getting this win, like at all costs, like no matter what, like that just sets you apart. That puts you on a whole different like dimension. I feel like that brings your skill, your talents, everything about you. It brings it up to another dimension. It brings it up to another level. That's why like I'm passionate about that. That's why when I saw that, like, what this guy like? What are you smiling for? Like, what's this whole
he was so tight, y'all. I'm like, what's wrong with him smiling? We was going back and forth for like 2 minutes. I'm like, yo, what's wrong with him smiling? He's like, you gotta understand. Like he was going hard, and I'm like, yo, listen.
Listen, that told me, I was like, yo, he got a long ways. Like he got a long way to go. That means like
yeah, that was where he ended
like,
it at.
Listen to me. That means to me, it don't hurt enough. That's what that told me. Like it don't hurt enough. It don't get to you enough. Like it don't like that. Like those times that you lost, or that times that you didn't use like this close and you didn't reach your goal. That you cool with just like, oh, I like I'm content.
But that's you know what? Actually, that person redeemed themselves. You think about it, because we had that conversation. We had this conversation. It wasn't even. I don't think it was this past season. It was the season prior. Because this past season, I mean, the outcome.
I wouldn't say so because.
Oh my god.
I'll just leave it as is. I'll just leave it as is. But I'm seeing positive signs this season. So let's see where things go. Because like, to be honest, and especially with the news that was revolving around him, I think it's gonna bring out another side of him that I'm excited to see. Is going to bring out another side, and I feel like it already has brought out another side of him. And so I'm happy to see where this goes. I'm happy to see where this goes. So we'll see. Like the NBA playoffs this year, that's gonna be very interesting. There's a lot of who's your team again? Who you root for?
I got a couple. You
have
that.
A couple.
Okay. You know that. Who's your team? You don't have a set team. Like Mr. NFL now. I'm like, I have a few teams, and it's been the top 3, y'all. Ever since I started watching basketball, first of all, I have last year I picked up another team that's one of my teams. But since I was watching basketball with Daniel, since what was that, 2020, I probably started with you, or 2020 I started. And that would just be every now and then. But then I feel like when we got married, I mean, I really it's on during dinner. So I ain't have no choice. But my teams, my top 3 teams is the Celtics, the Knicks, and the Mavs. You know that.
Oh yeah. Okay.
You know that. I wanna see the Knicks. I mean, we're from New York, so you would think New York. I mean, you would think that the Knicks was, your team too. But
when Melo was there.
Yeah, but I like Jalen Brunson. So
yeah, New York. I'm from New York, so I'm always gonna have love for New York. For me, it was the Mavs too. I'm a major Kyrie fan.
At one point, you liked the 76ers, but I don't know if you stuck with them.
Yeah. I'm like, it comes and goes.
Yeah, you don't have a team.
This year, I really like how the Suns are playing. Like, and it's not the big 3, but it's like how they moving together as a team, like how they move the ball.
This is no news to me.
Nah, I really like how they're playing, especially under Budenholzer. I love how they're playing. So we'll see if they keep that up. We'll see if they actually make some noise. So
okay, well,
I had something for you though, because I want to carry that, that whole mentality thing. I want to carry it over to something that you love. First of all, I don't know if y'all know, but Lonnie played basketball when.
Can you stop playing with me?
What age was it again?
I don't know what you're talking about. Stop playing with me.
Were you smiling then? Were you smiling then? Is that why you feel like
I wasn't smiling. I ain't even made the team.
Serious? Oh. Yeah, there's no reason to smile then.
Really playing with me.
Oh man,
you really playing with me.
Okay, so wait. So I want to carry this over to something that you love. You love poetry.
Wait, before you do, guys. Also, put in the comments what's your team. Put in the comments what's your thought process. Are you for a player smiling, or are you for a player keeping that serious dog mentality? I mean, after we
I
went through
guarantee
this
you
episode,
they're gonna choose
I
my
know
side.
after we went through
I
this
guarantee you.
episode, talked it through. Like, all right, I get it. I get it. But let me hear y'all thoughts also. And let me hear what's your team in the comments. So, all right, that was
So,
sorry, babe. Good.
like I said, I want to like carry that over to something that you love.
Mm-hmm.
You love poetry. You've done poetry. You've performed poetry. You've written poetry. Do you say that like in the time that you were spending like perfecting your craft, performing your craft?
Mm-hmm.
Was there like smiling that was taking place? I think, especially the times that I saw you perform poetry, um, aside from the time where it was like a birthday gift to me and you were smiling. So it was like sweet words and everything. So I get it. But
Aw, you remember
I
that?
feel like the other times I could just imagine, especially like stories that you were telling me
Mm-hmm.
about the competition that you was in.
Mm-hmm.
I It's like while you were telling me the story, I was just imagining you on stage, just being passionate.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like there was no smiling at all involved. I felt like you were like passionate because the words that you were carrying out, you wanted folks to feel that.
It was a message I had to convey.
Exactly. So it's like you, especially in a place of competition, like
Mm-hmm.
you wanted to make sure, hey, like the light was shining on you, that you had something different than all of the other ones that were all of the other poets,
Mm-hmm.
right? So I was,
Christ.
what you say?
I said Christ.
Amen. So that's why I'm like trying to portray. Is exactly, and especially like in a place of like competition, you want to make sure that you stand out. You want to make sure like this is not a game that you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that further like
You're right. Why you had to do that? Why you had to do that? Because to
I
be
think that
honest, when
further
I
proves my point.
reflect back, like I don't think there was. You right. The only time I probably smiled when I was reading the poem was when it was for you on your birthday, and it was like a sweet, warm, expressing my love kind of poem. But like outside of that, the times that I've had to perform in a competition, whether it was an open mic, and this was when I was growing up, right? Like this is when I was teenager to my young adult years. I used to compete in competitions, like poetry competitions. It was a part of an organization that I was a part of called Urban Word. I remember those days, man. But you're right. I wasn't smiling. It was like, no, this is a message that needs to be conveyed, and I'm not smiling while doing it. So I guess you won. You got it.
There you go. Yeah, and I'm pretty sure our beloved followers will. You probably have some like that say, "Yeah, it's okay to smile." But
Whatever.
I think the beloved followers, I think they
I
see my
mean, I
point.
guess it's when you put it in a perspective of like a competition perspective. Because for me, I'm just like, okay, when you're doing what you love, it should be some joy to it. Like it should
No,
be
there's joy to it.
like,
Like,
so I don't know if that was like the social work background and me, where it's like, all right, like sometimes, excuse me, I'm sorry, working with people. Well, this was when I used to do direct work, direct practice. It used to be hard work, right?
mm,
But at the same time, it used to be hard work, like hearing people's trauma, hearing people's story, or like just even providing service. But for me, it was like, okay, well, how can I make somebody else smile, right? So like just
yeah,
showing up with that warm, smiley kind of presence, that
yeah, I
warm,
got you.
as you said, like that giddy presence, like, and that for me, like it made the difference. But when you put it in the sense of like competition, it's like, yeah, no, like I'm not playing. So
Exactly,
I get it. You
exactly.
got it.
And it's not to say that even in like having that mindset that you're not having joy in it, like because if you're not having joy in it, then you wouldn't be in it at all. You wouldn't be putting your best foot forward. in whatever it is you're doing, or in whatever it is like you're competing in. It's just like, you know, having that seriousness, having that poise, you know, it takes that kind of mindset, but that doesn't take away the joy, like in doing it. Like, you know what I'm saying? Otherwise you wouldn't be doing it at all. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So
You got it.
so yeah.
You got it.
This was a good one.
That's cool.
This was a fun one.
That's cool.
I hope that you guys enjoyed our conversation. Hope you guys actually bonded with us. And again, the opportunity there is there for you to bond with us in the comments. Tell us what you like, what you think concerning what we were speaking about.
Yeah.
Your NBA team. If for those of you that are in the NFL, like who's your NFL team? Me, I'm a Mahomes fan, and I'll say this: as soon as he said that Carmelo Anthony was his favorite player growing up, I said, "Yo, this guy got me. I'm sold on the Chiefs. I'm sold on Mahomes all the way." I already thought he was nice. I already thought the Chiefs was nice, but when he mentioned Carmelo Anthony,
That was it.
that was a done deal for me. That was a done
I
deal for
got
me.
you.
So, you know, go Chiefs. Let's see if they three-peat. I believe they can do it. But you know, NFL is tough. It's tough. So we'll see. As far as the NBA go, I don't know.
Yeah.
Just hoping for a competitive playoffs. That's all.
Okay. I got
Like,
three
make
teams.
me yell at the screen. Like,
I got 3 teams, so I'm good with any of those 3 being in the top. I'm cool with that.
Okay. See, that's the
probably. Please. Probably. I seen the Celtics win last year. That made me happy. So right now, this year, I hope that I haven't really been paying attention to basketball, so I don't really know how they're doing. But I hope that the Knicks
they're doing all
make
right.
it
They're
far.
second behind the Cavs. So, you know,
Okay.
they're like 1 game behind.
Okay. So yeah, I hope they, you know, bring home a champion. Bring home a ring. Well, that's it for me. I don't have anything else to say sport related. I pretty much, this conversation, you won. You got it.
Okay.
Dog
I wasn't
mentality.
looking to win or anything.
I know, but dog mentality, that's the mentality in competition.
That's
like
right.
You concluded the conversation with pointing at like, well, how did you handle this when you was in competition? And that right there took the cake. So
yeah.
That's it.
That's all we have for you today, guys. Again, if you just you know, stumbling upon our channel, stumbling upon this episode, and you haven't done so, please like, subscribe, share with your family, share with your friends, share with your loved ones. Let's get this going, all right?
Alrighty, and you can also follow us on Instagram at the Beausejours and like our page on Facebook at the Beausejours. Thank you guys for bonding with us.
See you soon, guys.